Today we'll solve this integral from 0 to infinity sine mx dx. Now let us call this integral as I, right? Now here in order to evaluate this integral, we'll apply the method of limits, and this integral can be expressed as limit say lambda tends to 0, and if we write here 0 to infinity, and we can write here e raised to lambda x and sine mx dx, right? So what we have done here, we have expressed this integral in the form of this limit lambda tends to 0, and here we have introduced an additional term e raised to minus lambda x, right? So when lambda tends to 0, e raised to minus lambda x obviously tends to 1, right? And this integral reduces to our original integral, right? So we have introduced this extra factor e raised to minus lambda x, right? So now why we have introduced this additional factor? Because we can now write this sine mx with the help of Euler's formula. Now Euler's formula says that e raised to iota mx is equal to cos mx plus iota sine mx, right? So now we can write sine mx is equal to the imaginary part of e raised to iota mx, right? So what we have done here, we have done two things. First, we have introduced this factor e raised to minus lambda x. When lambda tends to 0, e raised to minus lambda x tends to 1. And the second thing is we have used the Euler formula to express this sine mx in terms of exponential power, right? So let us write sine mx as imaginary part of e raised to I mx. So now this integral becomes limit lambda tends to 0. Here we have 0 to infinity e raised to minus lambda x, and here we have imaginary part of e raised to iota mx and dx, right? Now viewers, we can take this imaginary outside the integral, and we can write limit lambda tends to 0, 0 to infinity e raised to minus lambda x times e raised to iota mx dx, right? Now here we have two terms, exponential terms, right? So now this is imaginary of limit lambda tends to 0, and here we have 0 to infinity e raised to we can write or we can combine these two terms like this: e raised to minus lambda x plus iota mx, or we can write it as e raised to minus x, and here we have lambda minus iota m, right? So now we can write here e raised to minus x, and here we have lambda minus iota m dx. Now viewers, let us denote this complex number lambda minus iota m by some other complex number, say a, right? So now this integral now it becomes 0 to infinity e raised to minus ax dx, right? Now we can integrate e raised to minus ax as 1 over minus a e raised to minus ax, right? And here the limits are from 0 to infinity, right? So now we can write this integral I as imaginary of limit lambda tends to 0, and we have minus 1 over a e raised to minus ax and 0 to infinity. Now we can write it as imaginary part of limit lambda tends to 0, and here we have minus 1 over a, and we are left with e raised to minus ax and 0 to infinity. Now if we substitute infinity here, then we get minus infinity, and then we have minus e raised to 0, right? So first we have substituted here infinity, we have e raised to minus infinity, then we have 0 here, we have e raised to 0. Now e raised to minus infinity is obviously 1 over e raised to infinity minus 1, e raised to 0 is 1, and e is to infinity is infinity, so we have 1 over infinity, that is 0, minus 1, so here we have minus 1, right? So now here we have a minus 1, right? So the value of e raised to minus ax 0 to infinity is minus 1. So now viewers, we have here imaginary part of limit lambda tends to 0, and minus becomes plus, so we have 1 over a, right? So now we have imaginary limit lambda tends to 0, and a was lambda minus iota m, right? What was a? A was lambda minus iota m. So we have 1 over lambda minus iota m, and now we have to calculate this limit. So we have lambda tends to 0, so here we'll substitute lambda equal to 0, so we have 1 over 0 minus iota m, and this is equal to imaginary part of 1 over minus iota m, and this can be written as because minus 1 over iota can be written as iota square over iota, so here we have simply I, right? So here we have I over m, and now we can express this complex number in standard form, so we can write imaginary part of 0 plus iota times 1 over m, right? So we have expressed this complex number iota over m in the form of a plus iota b, and the imaginary part of this complex number is 1 over m. So here we have 1 over m. So the value of this integral from 0 to infinity sine mx dx is equal to 1 over m. So viewers, this is how we solve this problem by using complex numbers.